Before we get into more elements, let's categorize the elements to two types. So elements can be of two types, the block elements and the inline elements. So first, let us see what are block elements. So these headings over here are an example of block element. These headings H1, H2 heading here, the H3 headings, these all are examples of block elements. Why is it? Because as you can see here, the headings, all these headings automatically takes up the entire line for itself. It doesn't matter if there's space beside the heading. There are a lot of space available beside the heading, still the other contents, like the other contents of the page, shifts to a different line. This is because the headings are block elements. It takes up the entire space for itself, the entire line. The same goes for a paragraph. The paragraphs are also an example of block elements. Let me show you an example for better understanding. First, let's write an anchor tag here. I'll just give a random text. It doesn't matter, just for example. Maybe just wait. And then let's give a paragraph here, the random text. And then let's write a H2 heading. Yeah. Some random text. Let's save it. After you save it, see what happens. In our browser, you can see the paragraph, the H2 heading automatically took the entire line for itself. But in my HTML code, I have written all these three in the same line. But in the browser, it automatically shipped it to a different line. Why did that happen? Because headings and paragraphs are block elements. They take up the entire line, or you can say they take up an entire block for itself. So block elements take up whole space for them, the whole block. On the other hand, we have this anchor tag here, this link over here, which doesn't mind sharing space with the other element, the paragraph element, the other text, you can say. So we call an anchor element an inline element. So inline elements are those which fit alongside with other elements. Down here, you can see the lists, our bulleted list and our numbered lists here. These appears in different lines. Though there's space beside each list, like beside the pasta, these could have come in the same line, but it didn't appear because the list li tag is a block element. So they appear in a different block. So being a block element or an inline element doesn't make any difference in their behavior, but it's just good to know. And we can also change this behavior of being inline or block using CSS, which we'll see that later on when we learn CSS.